Welcome back with Mrs. Struble. I'm sorry, we are not talking about the transformers today. We are going to talk about transformations. So, what are transformations? A transformation in math is when we have a figure in our coordinate system and it somehow changes. So, we're going to talk about specifically 4 different types of transformations and how those transformations can make pretty much anything happen with our figures. Here we see Optimus Prime. Our first transformation we're going to talk about, and again, transformations, that's a change to a figure. Okay? We change the figure into another figure that's also represented by, or similar. Okay? It can be moved, it can be rotated, it can be dilated. Okay? In short, it's just moved or changed somehow. So our first transformation, like I was saying, is called a translation. Okay? When we translate a figure, we're basically moving it. Okay? All right. It's also known as a slide, so we'll just go ahead and call it a slide. So the translation is sliding the figure up, down, left, right, whichever way. Okay. We do not say that it's translated diagonally because a diagonal move is simply moving over and then down. So if I was moving it diagonally, I was moving it to the right and then down a certain number of points. So again, using Optimus Prime here, what would a translation look like? If you notice, I have some random points that Optimus Prime lies exactly on. So for example, this point right here, the end of his foot is at -4, 4. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to translate Optimus Prime just to kind of see how this looks and what happens. Okay? So if I tell you that I'm going to translate like such, and I know it looks funny, but what this really means is we're going to take whatever x value we have and we're going to add 7. We're going to take whatever y value we have and we're going to subtract 12. So this is called a translation in the to the right and down. Okay, so this is a multi-translation. We're going to translate it to the right 7 and down 12 units. Down because it is -12. Okay, we can do this without even graphing. Identifying that new point, well, we just add 7 to the x, subtract 12 to the y. We know that Optimus Prime's heel is going to be at the new location 3, -8. Okay? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Okay, right there. Okay. So then what I would do is I would do that for each and every single point. And we would find that Optimus Prime moves this way and on down. So he ends up being translated about right there, okay? So he does a little move. Now, how do we distinguish between the two Optimus Primes here? Now, obviously, the figure did not change. It just relocated, okay? So this Optimus Prime, the one we started with, that's called our original image. So this would be our original image. But our copy here, this guy, our translated figure, is called our image. Okay? Now, if we were to label these points, we label them a little different. So here in the original Optimus Prime, we have our normal points A, B, C, D, so on and so forth, okay? Just like that, okay? So these original points that we have up here, they're just labeled respectively with capital letters. Now in the image, we have those exact same points. We relocated those, okay? But this time, instead of calling the heel of Optimus Prime also A, it's an image, so we say A prime. Kind of a non-intended pun there. Okay. So we call this point A prime. In other words, it's the image of A. So this point would be B prime, C prime, D prime, and hopefully you get it from there, okay? And this one should go here. So that is translations in a nutshell. Pretty basic stuff. Translate an item means to move or slide it. To translate a figure means to move or slide it. You can slide it left, you can slide it left in the negative x direction, you can slide it right in the positive x direction, you can slide it down in the negative y direction or up in the positive y direction. Okay? So you'll either see the translation instructions written like this, or they will literally be verbal. So left or right, so many units, okay, and then up or down so many units. All right, pretty basic stuff. I'm going to go ahead and give you some problems to practice on your own, and we'll be back with those answers. Okay, so here in our book on page 47, we're going to do numbers 5 through 17. So before I let you go to try these on your own, let's kind of go ahead and talk about some of the directions here. So on numbers 5 and 6, it's asking you to describe the location of the blue figure in relation to the red figure. What that means is the blue figure here, that's your image, okay? And they're asking what did they do to red to get to blue? And again, 7 through 12, it says tell whether the blue figure is a translation. Again, they're referring to the blue figure being the image. Okay? So is it translated, yes or no? 13 through 16, it says the vertices of the triangle. Let me go ahead and try and get to that here. Okay. So 13 through 16, vertices of the triangle are ... Okay? And it's asking you to translate it 4 different times. So you're going to end up having 5 triangles if you graph each of these triangles on the same coordinate system or graph paper. And then number 7, obviously I like you to kind of do some backwards thinking, try and be the teacher, so see what you make of that. Is your friend correct or not? Okay, so hopefully you have paused this video by now. Let's go ahead and show you the answers. All right, we started at 5. So the translation from the red to the blue, for number 5, 6 units right, 3 units down. Number 6 was 5 units left, 2 units down. Okay. Again, 7 through 12, you were just asking yourself, was the figure moved? Simply up, down, left, or right? Or was something else going on? And the only ones that were translation were 7, 10, and 11. So 8, 9, and 12 were no, those were not translations. You may have put 13, 14, 15, and 16 all on one page. That's perfectly fine. So just kind of take a look at what those would look like. Again, you're looking at the primes right here. Okay? So the primes would be our translated figure, and let me put 16 up there for you, okay? And again, you can slow this down, you can pause it, whatever you need to do. And then 17, was that student correct? No, they were not correct, okay? So what they had done is they actually just reversed the x and y coordinates. What it means by reversing the x and y coordinates is that the directions said to translate it 2 units down. That's from the y coordinate. So when it says down or up, that's the y coordinate, and they took that as the x coordinate. So oops, we were supposed to subtract 2 from the y, which was the 1, and then add 1, because 1 unit right signifies that that is an x movement. So they were to add 1 with the 3 and subtract 2 with the 1. Okay. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, learned a couple things about translations from the types, which is our first type of transformation. Thank you again for watching with me. Till next time.